In this video, I'll be showing you guys how to use a for loop. So this is the basic syntax of a for loop, but it's much complicated than a while loop, which is not that complicated, but then. So here in the for loop, within these parentheses that are next to the for, it's where you say where your loop should start, where your loop should end, and the intervals your loop should use for counting. Okay, fine. Let's say, okay, firstly you start by declaring the variable that you use to count. So we usually use I, but you can use anything that you want. Int I equals to 0. So this means that I want my program to start from I. And then you put this colon. And then now where you have to say where you want your loop to end. I want my loop to end while my I is less than 10. Okay. And then now this is where you pick the intervals. So I want my loop to use intervals of 1. So the simplest way of doing that is by saying I plus plus. You can also say I plus equals to 1. I plus equals to 1. That also does, but then the easiest way, if you want to use intervals of 1, you just say I plus plus. So this is where you say where your loop should start, where your for loop should start, and then this is where you say where your for loop should end. Here it's the intervals, how you want your loop to count. It could be you want it to count in 2s. This is for counting in 1s, you know. And then here you say what should be done as long as these all conditions that are here are still met or are still true. Okay, fine. Let's say that while I is equals to 0, while I is less than 10, you want to increment I and you want to see out study climb 10 times. So let's do that. You want to see out study climb. Let's end the line. Okay, and put this column here. Okay, so a for loop is much easier using because everything is here within. Unlike when using a while loop, you have to declare and initialize the variable outside the loop. And changing the loop, you have to do it here below within the curly braces. Not changing, adjusting the integer or the variable that you'll be using. So this, it's nice because you do everything within these brackets, which makes everything neat and cool, I guess. Okay, fine, let's run the code and see what we get. Okay, fine, as you can see, it said study climb, guessing it should be how many times? It should be 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because we're starting from 0, we're ending at 9. So that is basically how you use a while loop. It's pretty much simple. Hey, this is how you get to understand it. And when using it, it becomes a bit more complicated. You can use it in a much complex problem. It's very fun to work with, I guess. Well, this is the loop I find interesting. And yeah, I think it's just one of those loops that that top programmers use mostly, I guess. Yeah, so just covering everything over again. This is where you initialize and set your counting variable, which is I in our case. You declare it and initialize it at the same time and then put a semicolon. So meaning that you can start from any number that you want. I just chose 0 because I wanted to start from 0, but you can actually start from 2, from 10, from 100, you know. And then this is where you say your loop should run until, this is the part for that you use in the while. it's similar to that, but you say, this is where you say your loop should run until or while this is true. So this loop basically runs while I is less than 10. And then this part at the end, it increments I, means that it adds 1 to the I if the loop has run once. It adds another 1 when the loop runs for the second time, etc. So this is the body of your loop. Basically, the body does this part of the body is ran only if all these conditions here are met and are still true. Okay, so that's it for the for loop. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and please give this video a thumbs up if it was useful to you. Thank you.